battle between Justin Baldoni and Blake Lively. It is heating up. It is not ending. Baldoni now reportedly set to take legal action against Lively. Joining us now with the inside story is pop culture journalist and co-host of the Naughty But Nice podcast, Corey Andrew. Corey, welcome back. Happy New Year.
Happy New Year. Thanks for having me.
Of course. Let's talk about the fallout between Blake Lively and Justin Baldoni. It gets bigger and bigger. I have to tell you, the public can't get enough of this story with that said. So reports say Lively and her husband, Ryan Reynolds, will not be going to the Golden Globes tonight. This, of course, comes as Baldoni's lawyer announced he's planning to countersue Lively following her claims of sexual harassment and a public smear campaign. I believe his lawyer said he's bringing the receipts. What details can you tell us?
Yes. Well, first, let's also talk about he filed a lawsuit against the New York Times as well, a $250 million lawsuit against them, accusing them of also defamation because they sort of took her side when they did a big story here about this case. But yes, he is suing Blake Lively. He's saying that her allegations can really harm his career. It can impact his ability to make a living. It can damage his reputation in Hollywood. He's going to clear his name, and he claims she's lying really to cover up maybe negative press or maybe a bad response to her own performance in this film, and she's trying to scapegoat him, and all these allegations are just like a smokescreen for something else. So that's sort of the allegation, but he's not really playing around here. He's very serious.
Well, her husband has even gotten involved. Ryan Reynolds is making headlines for his alleged behavior against Justin Baldoni. What do we know about that?
Yes, well, there was an attempt to have like a sort of a, not reconciliation, but like a mediation meeting, if you will. They met, the three of them. It was Blake, it was Ryan, and Baldoni, and the idea was to have a conversation about the situation. They invited Baldoni over to talk about it, and it got kind of heated. Now, you can imagine this is Ryan's wife, and the allegations are pretty serious: sexual abuse, verbal abuse, all kinds of different things. And Baldoni claims that Ryan like kind of got in his face and got overly aggressive and really was intimidating to him. Now, Ryan's team says, no, that's not what happened at all. My intent was just to clear the air. But of course, they have two different perceptions of how this meeting actually happened. And so it did not get resolved, and thus the lawsuits were filed. So that's sort of how we got here.
All right, we're going to stay on this story. Again, a lot of people interested in the world of entertainment. Let's move on to Armie Hammer. He's finally opening up about returning to Hollywood. This follows years of being sidelined due to scandals. I mean, he was an A-list star. He was in great movies, and then he wasn't.
Big.
So what's Hammer saying now?
Yeah. Like you mentioned, he was in great big movies, very successful, and then all of a sudden he had this big scandal in 2021, and it was pretty bad. I mean, it was like a lot of multiple women claiming that he had sexually assaulted them, sexual violence, a lot of stuff. I'll let your viewers Google that so we don't gross everyone out this Sunday morning. But yeah, it was a lot, and so he got pulled off of a lot of projects. His career really came to a halt. He got dropped by his agency. He got dropped by his manager, which were all big Hollywood A-list management companies. So maybe he thinks enough time has gone by now. He did a podcast, and he's claiming that the offers are just pouring in. He's back. He's on his way back, and he's almost gloating and sort of like celebrating. But I would caution him to not do it this way. Hollywood loves a good comeback, but with acts of contrition.
We'll see. I mean, the projects will speak for themselves. Do we know of any projects coming his way?
Yeah, he claims there's a film. He doesn't really give too much about it. He has a film that that's called, I think it's going to be called The Frontier Crucible, with William H. Macy's coming up and Thomas Jane. So he claims that. He also is launching this podcast called Armie Hammer Time, which is kind of fun. And I'm not sure what that's going to do for his career, but podcasts are huge. Look at Joe Rogan and people like that. So it could happen. But again, he needs to be very careful because sexual assault claims are not something people are going to willingly welcome you back if they don't think you've done the work or owned up to the accusations.
Absolutely. All right. Corey, Andrew, thank you again. We appreciate it.
Thank you.
Thanks for watching. Go to joinnn.com to find NewsNation on your television provider. And don't forget to click the red subscribe button below to get more of NewsNation's fact-driven, unbiased coverage.